All right. Second semester review, chapter 7 for the cumulative test. So number 1, rewrite the following equations in exponential form. So this is the old swish and flick. So 4 to the power of y equals x. Swish and flick. X squared equals y plus 1. Now notice there is no base here. When there's no base, we understand that it is a 10. So that is 10 to the power of x. Nope, not equals x. I don't know why I wrote that. Equals 8. So swish. And again on ln, if we do not see a base, it is e. And then we swish and flick. E to the power of 3 equals x minus 7. 5 through 10, we're going the opposite direction. Okay, so you know we're going to write log on this one because there's no e, so it's log. And then the base is your 5. And again, I have to do this myself. Swish and flick. 5 to the power of x plus 2 equals y. So log base 5 of y equals x plus 2. Now we have an e, so that means we're going to have an ln. Okay. Our base is e. We don't have to write the e, but we can, like up on number 4. So e to the power of negative 5 like so. So ln sub e of x equals negative 5. And again, you could get away with just writing ln x equals negative 5. You don't have to put the e there, but it's not wrong. Okay, no e, so we have a log again. Our base is x, so again, x to the y equals 6. Now in this one, you don't have to write the 10 here. Okay. 10 to the power of x equals y minus 5. Again, you could just write that as log y minus 5 equals x. You don't have to put the 10 there. It's just understood. Either way is fine. Okay, evaluate each exponential expression. Give the exact value. Okay, so 7 to the power of 4 is 2401. That's just 7 times 7 times 7 times 7. Okay, this is 2 cubed over 5 cubed. Okay, on the next one, remember, this is just 5 to the 3, like we just did. But remember, if it's a negative, that just puts it on the bottom. That's all. Notice how 5 cubed and 5 cubed, both 125, okay? But if it's a negative exponent, that puts it down in the denominator. And this one right here, this means the cube root of 27, which is then squared. So the cube root of 27 is 3, and then you square that, you get 9. And remember, you can put this in the calculator. You can type in 27 to the power of, parentheses, 2 divided by 3. You can do 27 to the power of alpha y equals 2 over 3. Okay, let it help you. Do the heavy lifting. Okay, evaluate each logarithmic expression. Give the exact value. Okay, this means 2 to what power is 32? If you look on your conversion chart, that's 2 to the 5th power. Now notice this one's getting smaller. Okay, 216 to what power is becoming 6? If you just think about it backwards, though, 6 to what power is 216? Well, that's 3. So since we're getting smaller, it's 1/3. Okay, if you switch these numbers, if you did this, the answer would be 3. Because 6 to the 3rd power equals 216. All right, same trick here. 4 to what power is 16? That's 2. Okay, but since it's in the denominator, I mean similar trick, sorry, not same trick. Since it's in the denominator, it's -2. And then 9 to what power is itself? That's just 1. Now these you're going to use a calculator. Notice it says round to the hundredths place. So we get our calculator. And this one doesn't have a sub, it's just 10, so we can just hit the log button and 232. Now notice that's 2.3654. 2.3654. Just write a few numbers down. The hundredths place is right here, which means the 5 is going to tell the 6 to go up. Okay? ln 80. Again, no E, so we can just hit ln 80. 4.382. 4.382. Again, hundredths place. The 2 tells the 8 to round down. Means really stay the same. So 4.38. Except, wait a minute. I think I just did 80, didn't I, instead of 90? I did. I don't know what happened there. 90. I don't know why my brain went from 80 to 90. So 4.4999. Sorry about that. 4.499. Again, this tells this to round up. So that rounds it up to 4.50. If you put 4.5, you know, that's fine. But the 0 shows me that you knew you rounded to the hundredth spot. So that's the best answer. But 4.5 is mathematically correct. Okay, now we do have a base of 4. So this time we need to go to the math key and go up to A, or down, whatever, log base, and put in the 4. Then you go over here with the arrow and put 100. In other words, 4 to what power is 100? Okay? 3.32. One. So again, we're rounding here. The 1 tells it to stay the same. 3.32. And if you think about it, it makes sense. 4 times 4 is 16. That's squared. Times 4 cubed is 64. And then times 4 again is over 100. So it's closer to 3 than it is to 4. 3 to the 4th power. I'm sorry, 4 to the 4th power. All right, 2e to the 4th. Okay, so we hit 2. Notice our e is behind the ln in blue, so second ln, and then 4. 109.196. 109.196. This 6 tells the 9 to round up. So again, 109.20 technically. If you put zeros. If you put 100.2, it is correct, but this is the preferred answer, just like this is the preferred answer. It just shows you recognize that you rounded in the 100 spot. All right, expand. Let's see how many items we have. We have 1, 2, 3 items, which means we're going to write log base 6 3 times. Okay. Notice we have 1 item in the denominator, so that's going to be a subtraction. Okay, let's clean this up now. So it's log base 6 of 8 plus log base 6 of x squared, and we're going to move this to the front, minus, because it's on the bottom, log base 6 y cubed, and we're going to move that to the front. So let's clean it up. We have log base 6 of 8 plus 2 log base 6 of x minus 3 log base 6 of y. And then when we condense, we're only going to write log base 5 one time. Remember, this 6 is going to come back here. We do have some minuses, so we know we have a fraction. We have 2 minuses. That means these 2 things are going to go in the denominator. So the x to the 6 is the only thing up top. And then again, the 3 is going to go here, so y cubed. And the 2 is going to go here, so z squared. Moving on. Solve each one. So with 64 and 4, we need the same base. So we need to rewrite 64 as 4 cubed. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. Now we cannot forget that we have this x minus 4 that was already up there. And then this side stays the same. Once we have these bases the same, there's our equation. 3x minus 12, I just distributed, equals x plus 2. And I didn't distribute, I said it, I said 12, and I wrote 4. So I wrote the mistake that people make, even though I said 12. How about that? So I'm going to subtract x and get 2x. I'm going to add 12 and get 14, and therefore x is 7. Now remember, if you can do that in your head, fine, but some of you are subtracting 12 from both sides because you see the minus 12, but you got to remember to move it, you got to add 12. So if you need to show the steps to remind yourself, and you know who you are, and you know what your weaknesses are, then do that. And if you need to write minus x and minus x, do that. It doesn't take but a couple seconds. All right, 1/5. That's just 5 to the first power in the denominator, which just means 5 to the negative 1. That's it. So we put our x plus 3 back up here because we don't throw it away. Now 25 is 5 squared, and we put our x plus 5 here. We have the same base. I'm going to distribute, hopefully properly this time. So that gives me negative x minus 3 equals, I'm setting a 2 in here, 2x plus 10. Now I'm actually going to add x to both sides, keep it positive. I'm going to subtract 10. 2x plus x is 3x. Minus 3 and minus 10 is minus 13, negative 13. And then when I divide, I get x equals negative 13 thirds. Yes, my answer is negative. Yes, it's a fraction. That's okay. Now, we cannot write 3 and 11 with the same base. Okay? So here's where logs come in. Okay? So we're going to log both sides. So we're going to write a long line. We're going to write log 3 2x plus 5 equals log 11. Now remember, we move these things to the front. So that's 2x plus 5 times log 3 equals log 11. Now we're trying to get this x by itself, so we need to get rid of this log, which is attached by multiplication. So we divide by log 3. Which gives me 2x plus 5 equals a decimal. Log 11 divided by log 3. Log 11. Now, remember, don't do this. Divided by log 3. If you do this, the calculator is going to do 11 divided by log 3 and then take the log of that. So remember, make sure when you do log 11, you close those parentheses. Then you divide by log 3. And you get 2.18. Now we're going to minus 5 from both sides. So minus 5 gives us negative 2.82. So 2x equals negative 2.82. And when I divide by 2, x is negative 1.41. Right? Now in 11, I can't do the log yet because I need to move this bad boy over. So 2 to the x minus 7 equals 103. Now I can log both sides. Now if you're comfortable with it, you can do the x minus 7, bring it out in front right away. If you're comfortable with that. If not, you take this step first. Okay? So I would log both sides. Okay? And I divide by log 2. So I take my calculator. Log 103, close those parentheses, divided by log 2. Those parentheses don't matter really. 6.69. Okay? So x minus 7 equals 6.69. And I'm going to add 7 to both sides. X is equal to 13.69. You need to hit pause or go back on any of these, please feel free to do so. All right, logs on both sides. This is the easiest one. If you have a log on both sides, 1 on each side only, you can just cross that off. You got 6x minus 1 equals 2x plus 1. I'm going to add 1 to both sides and subtract 2x from both sides. That's going to give me 4x equals 2. That's going to give me 2/4, which is 1/2. 13, log on one side, that's swish and flick. 6 to the 2 equals x minus 4. 36 equals x minus 4. Add 4 to both sides, x is 40. Condense, then solve. Okay? Remember, plus turns into multiplication. We're going to condense first, which means we're going to write log base 2 only once. And then this times this. Equals 5. And now we switch and flick. 2 to the 5th power equals x squared minus 4x. 2 to the 5th power is 32, which we have to subtract over, so that gives me x squared minus 4x minus 32 equals 0. And now I'm going to factor. I need to factor into two numbers that multiply to give me 32 that differ by 4. Well, that's going to be x minus, sorry, got ahead of myself. 2 parentheses, x times x. 8 times 4 is 32, but I want more negatives. So I have negative 8, negative 4 left over. So I want negative 8 and positive 4. And when I set them both equal to 0, x is equal to 8, and x is equal to negative 4. Okay? But we have to check our answers. Okay? And when we plug in and check our answers, we're going to find out that this one is extraneous. Okay? 15, we're going to condense again. Minus turns into division. I'm only going to write log 3 once, log base 3, have my fraction bar, x plus 9 on the top, and x on the bottom, equals log 3 of 4. Now, I have one log on each side, I can cross them off. So I have x plus 9 over x equals 4. So to get that x on the top, I'm going to do this. So that gives me x plus 9 equals 4x. Subtract x, 9 equals 3x. Divide by 3, x is 3. Last two. Remember, if we don't have a base on ln, it's e, and then we switch and flick. E to the 5th equals 3x minus 8. Simple enough. We take our calculator, second ln, second, there we go, ln, e to the 5th, get that decimal. 148.41 equals 3x minus 8. I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Okay, add 8. 156.41. And then we're going to divide by 3. And we get 52.14 because the 7 tells us to round up. So x equals 52.14. Last problem. Remember, we need to get e by itself, so we're going to subtract 6 first. So 4e to the x minus 5 equals 102 minus 6, which is 96. We have to get rid of that 4, so we're going to divide by 4. E to the x minus 5 equals 24. Now we're going to ln both sides. Okay, this is going to move down in front, and this is going to disappear. So we basically have x minus 5 equals ln of 24. So we go to our handy-dandy calculator and hit ln of 24. And get 3.18. So x minus 5 equals 3.18. And when I add 5 to both sides, I get x equals 8.18. And that is it for chapter 8. All right, number 18. So we have our formulas up here. Compound interest, right? Compound because we have these extra n's in here, okay? And then we have continuous, continuously. Anytime you have the an e, it's continuous interest. And then we have simple, growth or decay, growth being plus, decay being minus, okay? So if you deposit $3,000 in an account that pays 3.5% interest, how much will you have after 6 years if it is compounded quarterly, monthly, continuously? Okay, so for the first one, they're going to be similar setups, all right? 3,000 is the principal in all of these. So it's going to be 3,000. So future value is 3,000 times 1 plus 0.035. Remember, we got to change this to a decimal. Now, this is the only difference. If this was just simple interest, like right here, it would just be 1 plus 0.035 to the power of 6. Okay? But with it being compounded, we need to add and account for quarterly, which is 4 times per year. And then that 4 also comes up here next to the 6. Okay? So the 4's right here, okay, that is extra when you're compounding compared to this formula right here. And you have to know the difference. Right? Now, remember, I personally like to go backwards and I like to go in baby steps. I don't like to type this all in at once. So I do 0.035 divided by 4. and then I add 1. And then I take that to the power of 24, or if you had two big numbers you weren't sure, you could type in 6 times 4. It'll calculate the 24 for you. And then that times the 3,000. You can type this all in one fell swoop with parentheses and all that good stuff. I just like to do it in baby steps and see the work. And here we have 3697.655. Okay, so 3697.655. Common occurrence, people are just like rounding the nearest dollar or whatever. It's money, so we want to round to the nearest penny, which means we're going to look here and round up. So that's going to be $3,697.66. Okay, now for this one, monthly, same setup. Future value, principal, 3,000. 1 plus 0.035 does not change. And then monthly is 12. This becomes 12, and then this stays 6. So the only change from A to B is changing the 4 to 12, quarterly to monthly. Okay? I'm not going to do this on the calculator, but it is $3,699.90. And remember, even if this is just 0, put 90 because it's money. Now, continuously, slightly different. Still going to use the 3,000, but we're doing the E. So we're going to do the E button in the calculator to the power of rate times time. So 0.035 times 6. I'm going to do this one on the calculator. So second E, ln gives us E, 0.035 times 6. And look, it's almost the exact same as before, times 3,000. It's almost the same decimal. This time we get 37.01 and 3 cents. Notice the 4 says round down, so it stays 03. Larry bought a new lawnmower for $7,500, and it depreciates 12% per year. What will it be in 4 years? So depreciates, that means goes down. That means we're going to use the simple interest decreasing minus. So future value is 7,500 times 1 minus 0.12 to the power of 4. Not going to do it on the calculator. You've seen me how to do it. That's going to be $4,497.72. How long for it to be worth $1,000? Well, in this case, we start off knowing what the future value is. We know what it started with, 7,500. It's still 1 minus 0.12. But we don't know the time. We're trying to solve for that. Okay? So first thing we need to do is get rid of this 7,500. It ends up being 0.13 repeating. And 1 minus 0.12 is 0.88 to the power of t. Okay? And now what we do is we're going to log both sides, because we're trying to find out what's up here in the exponent. So log 0.13 repeating equals, remember the t comes out in front, time times log of 0.88. So now to get this by itself, we're going to divide by log 0.88. Log 0.88, and that will give us our answer. So we're going to type this in the calculator. Log. Now, you can type in 0.13 with a bunch of 3s, okay? I'm just going to type in the actual number that we did, the 1,000, and let it do the math and not worry about the repeating decimal. So log of that divided by log of 0.88. And something went wrong. Let's see. Let's just try the log 0.13 repeating. Divided by log 0.88. Okay, that did it right. Hold on for a second. Okay, maybe you caught my mistake. I just realized I typed in 750. I think I even said 750 when it should have been 7,500. Okay, now you can tell this really did not make much of a change. As long as I put in enough threes. You don't want to put just 0.13 to make it more accurate. You can see it doesn't start to have any difference until, like, 6 spaces out in the decimal. So the answer is approximately 15.76 years. So about 15 3/4 years. All right. Ms. Lippy bought a house in 2022 for $350 grand. House in her zip code appreciate 5.3% per year. What will it be in 2030? Okay. Well, you have to figure out how many years it is from here to here. Okay. That's 8 years. So future value, 350,000. 1 plus, because it appreciates, 0.053 to the power of 8. That means in 8 years, it should be worth $529,047.92. How long until it's 750,000? So again, we know 750,000 equals 350,000 1.053 to the power of t. We don't know the time. Okay, so we're going to start off just like before. We're going to divide by 350,000. I'm just going to type 350K, save space. Okay, that cancels that. That gives me the decimal 2.14, a little bit nicer decimal, equals 1.053 to the power of t. We're going to log both sides. Again, this is going to come out in front. So log 2.14 equals t times log of 1.053. We're trying to get t by itself. So we're going to divide by log 1.053 on both sides. I'm just going to type that in the calculator, log 2.14, close parentheses, don't forget that, divide by log 1.053, and we get approximately 14.76 years. So again, about 14 3/4. Okay, 0.75 is 3/4, so about 14 3/4 years. All right, now in this one, name all the parts. So principal, that's right here, P. $6,250, $6,250. Interest rate as a percent. So this is rate right here, but we have to move the decimal 2 places to the right, 2.5%. If you put 0.025, that is mathematically correct, but it says as a percent, so you would lose like half a point there. So just please make sure you pay attention what it's asking. If it did not say this, either answer would be fine. We generally write a rate as a percent, but, it's understood. How long the money was invested in years? That's right here, T time. Number of compounding periods, that is N here and N here, 4. Calculate the cumulative value. That means just type this whole thing into the calculator, and what you end up getting is $8,018.92. And the interest earned is you take this amount minus this amount. And that will give you $1,768.92. And that's it.